I'm also a CPS music educator. I was also nominated for the Grammy Music Teacher Award, which was instituted. Yeah, give it up for me. It started in 2013, so I was in that first class. I didn't get it, but it was awesome to be nominated. Last year, 2024, it was my Aunt Ruth, who you all call her Dinah Washington. I call her my Aunt Ruth. She turned 100 years old. Right. So they did a declaration in the city of Chicago. That was June 8th. And it was at the Blues Fest at Millennium Park, and I was one of the headline performers. So that was very, very awesome. Just to tell you a little bit about me, I travel the country teaching people about Dinah Washington. So I have a whole PowerPoint, I sing her music, I have tons of artifacts, and also an interesting fact is my mother, who is 86, is the reason for the book, because she had so many wonderful memories. And before, she's 86, she's not gonna live forever, I hope she does, but I wanted to capture all of her memories. And by me being an elementary school teacher, I decided that I wanted to put all of her memories into a book. So it is a great read, even for an adult, even though it's a children's book. So you'll learn many things about her. I won't give a lot of things away, but a lot of people didn't know that she had her own plane. Whatever my aunt put her mind to, she did it. She had a booking agency. She also had a laundromat. How many people knew she had a laundromat? No one?
I know Mahalia Jackson, I think, had one.
Right, but she had a laundromat. Also, she rented out the Roberts show lounges. She had Dinah Land. She did that for about 2 or 3 months. Also, if you go to the African American Museum at the Smithsonian, she will be on the 4th floor in the same case with Sam Cooke. So that was a tearful moment for all of us, because I remember when they contacted us 15 years prior and we gave them some of her artifacts, and to see them in the museum is just fabulous. She's also in the African American Museum in Nashville, which we didn't know, and when I went to visit, there was a huge mural of her right when you come into the exhibits. So that was totally fabulous, and it also had who influenced her and who she was influenced by. So that was really awesome. Anybody have any questions for me? Because I can't talk a lot. I'm a minister and a teacher.
I do have a question.
Yes.
No, Brad.
Is her given name, was it Ruth Ali?
Ruth Ali Jones, yes.
One Ruth Ali.
Yes, Ruth Ali, it was one word. And she was born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and they do have the Dinah Washington Cultural Center there. They also have a sign on the street also. And something that people may not know, I believe it's 86 in Euclid, there's a Dinah Washington Park. So I've been there several times. So if you're over in that area, go and check it out.
Oh yeah.
No idea.
Any other questions?
So Keith's going to bring the mic over if anybody has any questions. And I've got one. Let me use your mic just to make sure we got the audio up. In the promotion for this, it was such a buzz on social media, and so many people were checking out my feeds and everything. The biggest question was, I didn't know, the first comment, I didn't know Dinah Washington had sons. And then they said, well, where are the sons? So that's question one. And then the other thing is, I found in my research a publicity photo of Dinah Washington and the Dynamites, and it was her 2 sons, and they were posed in a photo. So can you talk more about her sons? And I'm wondering, did they actually record with her, or did they perform in a concert, or what happened to the 2 sons?
All right, my fabulous cousins, Robert Grayson Jr. and George Jenkins. Those are her 2 sons, and they were the Dynamites, and they did actually perform with her. So they would dance, and they had a wonderful little act. It didn't go on for very long, but people really liked it and they enjoyed it. George passed away several years ago, over 15 years ago, but he does have children, so she has several grandchildren, and they are her heirs. And also my cousin Bobby, who was Robert Grayson Jr. Both of them were like the life of the party. So my cousin George was very bubbly. He loved to crack jokes. He was a jokester. He loved to have fun. He loved to be around his family. And my cousin Bobby, he was a boat maker. And he was a ladies' man. He was always dressed to the nines, very stylish, and he always had something slick to say. So they were both two characters. My cousin Bobby passed away about 3 years ago.
Right.
And so he had a lot of artifacts in his home, and I was able to go to his home, and I saw all of the wonderful pictures and paintings and different things that he had.
Oh, nice.
In the back.
Yes.
Bobby, I thought he was raised by his grandmother, right?
Yes, he was raised by his grandmother, but my aunt would come and get them from time to time. So they would live in New York with her, and then they also lived in Detroit with her.
I grew up with Trouble.
15, 18, yes.
Miss Jones. But I only saw Bobby. I never knew about him.
Sure.
Yeah, George was around, but George was older. So he might have moved away, or because he had moved to New York as well.
Brad?
Well, first off, George, I heard he used to live on the west side, because my friend Malachi knew him.
Yes, he did live on the west side.
The other thing I was going to mention, how much do you know about Melvin Andrew Gracie?
Not very
Oh,
much.
that's Bobby's uncle.
Uh-huh.
He mentioned him in the film. And he was a blues singer known as Andrew Tibbs. And according to Bobby, he would sneak Bobby out to the clubs to see Dinah. And my friend John Wright, who lived out near where your mom lived, knew him very well and said he was drinking a lot. And he made some records here in Chicago, and Sun Ra was on one of them as a pianist.
Interesting facts.
Right.
I learn something new every day. People come up to me and they tell me personal stories about my aunt and how they would hear her sing, how she went off on people. She was very feisty. But one thing about my aunt is she was for women empowerment. I remember she discovered Lola Falana. And so she would call Lola Falana out of her name, like all of the time. Until one day she said, "Would you stop calling me a B?" And she was like, "It's about time you said something to me. Girl, you gotta stand up for yourself in this business." So she had a very interesting way of teaching people things. But she was very generous, and she was a loving person. And I don't think that's brought out enough. One of my favorite songs, Relax Max. Your nerves are just like jumping jacks, Max. I love that song because it really showed how comical and witty she actually was. And she was a child prodigy. So at 3 years old, she would come home from church, get on the piano, and just start playing all of the hymns that she heard at church. And my grandmother was an accomplished musician and singer, and they weren't very rich at the time, but she used all of her money that her and my grandfather had and bought my aunt a piano. And in those days, that was unheard of. I don't think she was 3, she was 4, because I know they had moved to Chicago. But yeah, she was a child prodigy, and she could play a lot of instruments. And she did have perfect pitch, which I still strive to do.
You can hear it in her singing, that
Yes,
her voice could just go right to the note.
yes, she was a musician's musician.
Any other questions? Okay.
All right.
Okay, so again, we want to thank Kristen once again for being part of this. We are taping for YouTube, so to all the people around the world who are Dinah Washington fans, welcome and thank you for being here. I want to personally thank everybody that came out tonight and say Happy Black History Month once again. And I'm going to let Keith conclude everything, and we'll be done for tonight.
I don't know if there's much more concluding to do. I just want to say thank you so much to all of you who not only came out, but stayed to the very end. This was amazing, right? I think, I feel like we would have done Deidre Jones proud because it's a very music experience. So one more time for Desiree Jones. Legacy, if you're watching, we'd love to have a conversation with you about this album.
And so would I.
So bring it to Kristen, to the family of Dinah for coming out, to the legacy of Dinah Washington. We are honored to be in this space, to gather in this space together in community, to celebrate a woman who has Chicago history and roots and connection to this great city, this great neighborhood. Again, Dinah Washington Way, right around the corner. We wouldn't be here without her. So, amen and ashe.
And a final shout out to Dinah's sister, Miss Clarissa. What's her last name?
Clarissa Smith.
Clarissa Smith. So get well
Mention
soon.
Angel.
And I hope you enjoy watching this video because we had a wonderful time honoring